Alright, just getting ready to get started on the next part, which is just going to be trying to do my final shaping on the outside. And we'll just see what we got. Yeah, that's running nice and true. Little bit more, but I like the effect right there. The joints look good and tight. Alright, I'm going to make maybe one more pass here. Very easy pass. Nice. Okay, I like that. Alright, I think my feature ring is going to be good, or my little transition ring, whatever you want to call it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and sand up the outside, and I'm just going to run through that. I'll start out, I'll power sand with about 80 grit, and then I'll go through all my grits up to about 600. Yeah, up to 600. And just try to go ahead and work on this outside a little bit. Alright, let's see here. Let me get everything set up. Alright, let's look see what we got. Alright. Okay, got a little bit more. Try to get any tool marks or whatever out with your heavy grits, because if you end up going to a lighter grit, then you'll probably never get them out. So just always, you know, let all your heavy grits do the heavy work. Let them get all your machine tools out, or any kind of machine marks like this in here and all that. Take that out with your heavy grits, and then use your smaller grits just to take out those sanding scratches left over from the sandpaper. Alright, I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to power sand this down, and then I'm going to do some hand sanding. Alright. Well, I've done my power sanding with 80 grit, and now I'm going to go back and I'm going to start my hand sanding. And I'm going to start with 80 grit on it as well. And all I'm going to do, I'm just going to go with the grain and make sure that I get out all the sanding marks that was left from the power sanding. The sanding marks are the worst thing there is, because you will see them stick out like a sore thumb. I really like the quilting in this. If you can see, there's a lot of quilting in this. But just make sure that there's no lines or anything going across the grain, you know, and just be very patient and do this step right, and the rest of your finish should turn out good. But I love the look of maple. You know, you go and buy it, and you know it's like just white. But you know, when you take it right out of a log, you don't never really know what you're gonna get. But it's always nice. Alright, I'm going to finish sanding with the grain, and then I'm just going to go back and start sanding, and I'll power sand with the lathe on with each grit, just like that, all the way through. And then I'll just come back and sand it with the grain and take out all the sanding marks. Then I'll move to my next grit, and I'll go from 80. I'll go 120, 240, 320, 400, and 600. And I doubt you just want to sit there and watch that. But when I get ready to do 220, there's a couple of little repairs that have to be done. A little hole right here, and a little bitty hole right there. And there's a place right here on the rim that I'm going to try to repair. And I think that's it. Not very much repairs on this one, but yeah, there's a hole right there too. So I'll be back when I get ready to do the repairs. Alright, I'm just getting ready to start making a couple of repairs. I'm not going to do the repairs on the rim, because the idea that I'm wanting to use for the top, I think that'll actually help accent that. But basically, I've sanded down to 120. That was my last grit. And now I'm going to fill these holes up, and I'm going to continue on with 220. The way I'm going to do that is with end grain shavings. And this is kind of a darker color, so I'm going to use walnut shavings. And these all came from the end grain, where I was, you know, if I'm ever boring into the end grain, I'll try to save those shavings, because they grind up into just really small, fine powder, just like that, you know, and they fill holes really well. I'll just take and pack these holes slap full, just as full as I can pack them, and as tight as I can get them with my finger, just rubbing across it just like that. And I'll just keep packing it in there until I can't pack in anymore. Alright. And I'll just use some very thin CA glue, just to harden all of that up. Alright, got my steady rest up, and hopefully this will keep it from exploding on me. Runs real good. Now I'm just getting ready to drill through here, down into the bottom, try to come through so I can begin hollowing that out. Alright, let's see. I got my lathe set it at slowest speed. I'm going to try to use this drill bit again. There we go. I'm all the way through. Now I should be able to hollow this out, hopefully without destroying everything. The problem is I'm using my steady rest because, you know, this is actually about 12 inches from the bottom, or from my chuck, and I'm kind of worried that, you know, I'm gonna end up torquing this thing somehow and get it out of balance, or worse yet, throw it out of the lathe. So, but I'm just gonna start working on this here, just like I hollowed the other. I'm gonna use that small carbide, the cobalt cutter, and get in here and just curve this out, and then in this area, I'll use this tool, which has got a little neck on it, and I can get in there. I can get into this area right here with it. I want to make this about the same thickness as the back, which is about 1/8, you know. Anyway, we'll just see how it goes. It's going to be hard to do this with that steady rest up, because I can't turn my headstock out, and I don't have a lot of room over on that side. But we're going to get going on this thing, see how it goes. Alright, let me move you to maybe a better location. Alright, well, I'm having pretty good problems with harmonics as I go, and the tool wants to vibrate, and it's usually only in certain areas. But I've found that this little carbide cutter, the 12mm, it's cutting slow, but it's doing a much better job on this thing being long like it is. And all I'm doing is I'm turning a negative rake on it like this, maybe about 5 degrees off parallel with the ground, and I'm just taking really small cuts, just trying to get my thickness to the right thickness. Just nice, easy cut. Coming up the side. I'm just going to keep on until I get all the way to the bottom, and until I get the thickness that I'm looking for. Back when I get this done. I think I've got a flat tire. Alright. I finally got down in there. It took a while. Let's see. And this was the tool that I used. It's a 1/2 inch bar with a 12mm carbide cutter. And it got in there really well. Once I started getting way over the tool rest, like here, I started getting a good bit of chatter and stuff, but then my scraper here, I got it fixed, and I finished out down in there. Now I'm just making final scrapes, truing everything up. I'm about 1/8 of an inch. Down through here is a little bump right there I'm going to have to take out. Let's see where that's at. Okay. And just going to keep on going. Oh yeah, got a flat tire on my steady rest right there. So I've got some little burnish marks on there I'm going to have to take back off again. But it's going pretty good. around this top edge, and then I might have to re-sand, but we'll see. And bring my flame down. Let me turn that light off. Flame starts out like this. Just going to turn it down where it's kind of small, about 1.5 inches long. I'm just going to touch over this very carefully. Alright, I like that. Okay, well what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let that thing cool down real good before I start my finish. My finish is going to be a spray lacquer, and I'm going to spray it right here on the lathe, but have no fear, I am going to cover everything up. Alright, just kind of for prep, I'm going to wipe the whole thing down with lacquer thinner, just to make sure that the surface is ready for lacquer. And I have to be careful here because I'll end up dragging that black down into the blonde. Don't want that. Alright. Inside here. I'm going to spray the inside also. I think that's going to look good. Alright, so now we should be good and ready. Surface should be prepped good. It's been sanded to 600 grit. And now we're just getting ready to spray. So I've already got my pattern and all set up, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna mix it right quick, and I'll come back and show you how I did that. Okay, well, for starters, I've mixed up, got my mixture in the can here. And all it is, it's just spray brushing lacquer, okay? You can spray it, I learned that from Captain 82. You can spray brushing lacquer. You just have to thin it. So what I did was I thinned it 50-50 with the lacquer thinner and the lacquer. So now I'm getting ready to start. I've already set my pattern, I think anyway. I've already set my pattern and my volume. Of course, I'll probably have to adjust it. But make sure that you get you have a water filter on in your line somewhere to take out the water coming from your tank. And it's always good to have a pressure regulator right up close also. But anyway, the first couple of coats that I make will be fairly thick coats, and but all I'm doing is just trying to get it to soak in and kind of seal up the surface a little bit, and then we'll get this thing rolling on. Then I'm going to get you out of here after this first coat, because I don't want lacquer getting all over that lens. I'm going to turn my lathe on slowest speed. I'm just going to I'm gonna get you out of here while I wait for that to cure for a few minutes. Lacquer dries very fast, so it won't be long till I get back in here. Alright. Well, I've got 2 coats on. So I figured I would go ahead and bring you back out and show you kind of what my process is. You can see how it's still soaking in. There's some parts where it's soaking in, there's some parts where it's not. But that's the whole idea behind my first couple of coats, is just to flood that surface and let me turn this off, and let this stuff all soak in good. Most of it is good except up here where I burned it. And but anyway, all I do is in between every coat I'll sand. Now the can of lacquer says that you don't have to sand between coats, but it just adds to a much smoother finish in the end. You know, you may have some dust or something settle on your finish before it cures up and it gets sticky or whatever, but you know, anyway, so I just lightly sand between each coat just to kind of knock off anything that may have stuck to it, and just very lightly. This is 320 here. Not heavy at all. The only reason I'm going 320 on this layer is because I'm still soaking in my finish. So but I'll work 320, 400, 600, and then I'll come back and I'll do another coat. But I'm gonna go ahead and go my 400 and my 600, and then we'll get this thing rolling. I'll be right back. Let me go ahead and get this sanded and I'll be right back. Alright, kind of a little quick word about safety. I'm spraying inside, and you don't want to be breathing lacquer. So while I'm spraying, I'm wearing this, and I'll wear it until I go outside. I'll go back in the house for a little while and wait for this to cure. I keep my air cleaner running the whole time, and by the time I get back out here, everything's nice and cleared up. But make sure you protect yourself from this lacquer. That stuff's pretty nasty to breathe in. But I'm getting ready for my next coat now. This is going to be coat number 3. I've resanded it to 600, and I'm getting ready to go again. Okay, get my air cleaner going. Alright, here we go. Number 3. Alright, I'm just getting ready to get this thing mounted on my vase mount to get this tenon taken off. I'm just getting her lined up good. Just gonna get it mounted Make sure it's lined up good. Back it up just a touch. Alrighty, tighten up the tailstock. Okay, we should be in good shape. Hope. Yep. Good shape, good shape. Alright, I'm just going to try to start taking this tenon off, hopefully without destroying it. The finish went really well, but it took a lot longer than I thought. But all I did, I would spray a coat, and I would come back once it had cured up, and I would sand it. The first couple of times I started with 320 and went up to 600. But the last few coats, I just lightly hit it with 600, and in between the coats. Alright, now, see if I can't get in here and finish this up. Well, the camera's right in the way. Get in here as close as I can with my skew. Rubbing the bevel very, very carefully. Alright, that was as far as I could go. You see the wobble develop? That was my sign that you better stop right where you're at. So, I'll just finish cutting that off. Now, this is all end grain here. This is all end grain, so you don't want to just break this off. If you just break that off, you're liable to pull out all the fibers up inside there, and then you got a mess. But I'm just gonna take my little coping saw and cut that off, and then I'll power sand the little button on the bottom, and then we'll be back. All I'm gonna do on the bottom as far as finish is I'm gonna finish my sanding. And I'm just going to put wax on the bottom, and after I sign it. Alright, I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, well, there we are. At the end of another project. I really enjoyed it. It took me a couple of days. I've got a 12-inch tall maple vase, and I think it should be, anyway, it's about 11 3/4 inches tall, and I like it. Got a maple and mahogany feature ring right around the thing. Got good quilting in here. Don't know if you can see all of that, but really nice quilting all in this piece. And even got some spalting. got the best of a lot of worlds in this. So, but anyway, that was a fun project. I'm glad it's over though. No, I was hoping I could have got it finished last night, but it's really gotten cold out here, and the lacquer just wasn't curing very well, so I just decided to leave it overnight and come back this morning and finish it up. But I hope you enjoyed this project. I really did. Burning the top of that thing, burning the top, really got that looking nice. It gives it a whole nother look when you do that. But don't forget to send your I Will Work for Wood pictures to Mark Bade. That's mbade1224@gmail.com, and he's putting together a good little conglomeration of pictures and stuff like that to upload for Captain Eddie. Kind of a well wish to him. And I think it's a really good idea. I think I even sent him his first picture. So, but anyway, let's try to support the captain. He's taught all of us how a lot of stuff, and you know, let's support him on that, and hope we get to see him again soon. But let me see. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. But in this video, we talked, you saw a lot of the equipment and stuff that I built, shop made, my segment and sled, my sander, my vase mount, and I've already got a lot of comments and questions about those. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in this description here to all three videos that show those things, and maybe they'll get something out of it. Maybe they'll like it. All right. Well, I'm going to get on in the house. I've got my vase signed. I've got the bottom waxed, and she's ready to go. See y'all on down the road.